Hello, Stacey Shiflett here again with just a couple of things I want to say. First of all, I'd like to shout out to my friends over at the Higher Grounds podcast. You need to go by and check that out. Brother Andy Wells, pastors Galilee Baptist Church, good friend of mine down in Monroe, North Carolina. And then Brother Michael Poindexter from Seagrove, North Carolina, and then Brother Stephen Aldridge from Pageland, South Carolina. These three guys have got together, put together a neat little forum where they can just talk and about the scriptures and different things. And so go by and check it out. Today was their very first episode, and I thought they did a great job on that. So go by, visit them, look them up. Higher Grounds podcast on YouTube and Facebook, and subscribe to their channel and get their updates. I think once a week they're going to do something. So anyway, I love these guys, some of my best friends in the ministry. We love one another, pray for one another, preach for one another, preach at one another. And so I just wanted to say a word about that. And then secondly, just an update on the book. I was trying my best to be finished by the end of January, first part of February, get the book out, but it's just kind of swarmed on me, to be honest with you. I've had 3 deaths in our church family just in the last 2-3 weeks, and of course with the holidays and everything, Christmas, I have been working on this book almost every free moment that I could be when it didn't take me away from the church and my responsibilities here to my people. And of course I've got a family, so I've kind of got my hands full, but I've been really trying to get this book finished. I started on it back last May when all this in our church and all this blew up, and just to be honest with you, I was too emotionally involved to do a fair job objectively addressing the subject, and so I just kind of put it on the back burner. And then recently the Lord gave me liberty to just go ahead and get this thing done. But it's one of those subjects that you don't want to drag out over months and write a little bit and put it back on the back burner. It's a disgusting, despicable subject when you're dealing with pedophiles and sexual abuse in the church. And it's one of those things I just want to get in it and write it, get done with it, and get it off my computer and get it off my mind and go on to other things. And but in the process of writing this book, in my mind, when I first started, I thought it'd be around 100 pages or so, maybe 125 pages, and I'm well up over 200 pages now. So it's been a little bit more involved as I told my story, and then just my 2 cents worth of what we can do to make a difference. Really, I'm no expert on this subject. Don't want to be honest with you. I've got a lot more that I'd rather spend my time dealing with, but this thing fell into my lap, and I feel like I have to do what I have to do. And this book is going to be something that hopefully God can use. First of all, my biggest goal, my biggest prayer is that people that have been victimized in the church can finally have the courage to step forward and tell somebody. That's the biggest thing. If they could just tell somebody, and many already have. I've just been amazed how many people's come to me and said, okay, nobody knows this, but I got to say something. And, you know, just that getting it off their chest and getting some closure and some healing is priceless. And so that's my biggest prayer, is that God will use this book, me telling my story, and help people get that dealt with in their own life. And then obviously people that are just looking for answers. How can we fix this? How can we address this? I don't know that I have all the answers. I don't profess to, but I definitely have a little bit of insight from both the victim side and then a pastor side of dealing with this multiple times in my ministry. So I just want to write this thing, get it done. It's a dark subject. I've been in a dark place for the last 3 or 4 weeks, thinking about this and writing about it and researching it and looking up the verses and talking to people. I am ready to be done with this. And so just bear with me. I want to get it out as quick as possible, but I want to do the subject justice and I want to make sure it's done well, it's done right. And to get it proofread and get everything polished up takes time. And going back over it and reading it and rewriting it. And so just bear with me, please, on that. And my goal is to have it out in February. That's my goal. I'd like to have it out sometime in February. And hopefully God can use it to make a difference. So covet your prayers. Did change the title from The Elephant in the Church. That was my original thought. And it just, as I began to research it, I saw there were a couple other books out by that title. I don't know the people, don't know the books, never had heard of them before, but I thought, well, I don't really want to help somebody else sell a book or somebody buy their book by accident, trying to buy mine. So kind of went a different direction with the wolves among lambs, and it's a much better title and a much better fit to what we're dealing with in our churches somehow or another. Those that were supposed to be in the church helping are hurting, and there's a lot of Bible verses that deal with that, and I deal with that in my book as well. So I covet your prayers. Pray a wall of prayer, please, around me as I finish this book. The satanic attacks have been unbelievable, really. But in spite of all that, God has been blessing. We had an unbelievable day yesterday with people saved, baptized, joining the church. We had Lord's Supper last night, and it was just a sweet, sweet service. I'm very grateful to the Lord for His mercy and His blessings, and I just want Him to be glorified through this, and magnify and glorify Him, and be used as a vessel and a conduit to make a difference in somebody else's life. And so I just wanted to give you an update about the book and tell you about my friends over there at the Higher Grounds podcast. Go check it out. It's a great group of guys, some of the best guys in the world. And I'm glad to call them my friends, and just wanted to give them a shout out and let you know about their new podcast.